This is our COVID Roundup and CDC update for May 10th, 2024. As the last good metric for the snapshot view of the COVID CDC dashboard is deaths, we now have 2 weeks of constant deaths due to COVID. It's very important to note that this is an incredibly lagging indicator of COVID, so COVID deaths should always be viewed in a retroactive manner, meaning that they're representative of several weeks back. Next, looking to the CDC genomic surveillance of COVID, KP2 is the leading variant, where JN.1 is continually moving down in proportion to the other variants, resting at about 16% at the moment. When we look at the variant breakdown that Raj provides us, he reports that JN.1.7 is the leading variant at 12%, and that JN.1 is at 11.5%, KP2 at 8.9%. Whenever I see new variants in here, I like to look them up, so KP3 was the new one that stood out to me, where I found this paper that includes KP3 in its analysis, where KP3 is listed as having notable immune evasion, showing the most pronounced decrease in neutralizing titers, which means that it significantly escapes prior immunity. This newly detected variant carries a Q493E mutation. Why is that important? Well, it increases receptor binding affinity, which would likely mean that it'll be more contagious, where KP3 consistently acted as the strongest escaper in terms of immune evasion, leading to a 1.9 to 2.4 fold reduction in neutralizing antibodies compared to JN1. So we saw how bad JN1 was. KP3 is likely going to be worse. So I think this variant is going to be the one to watch. I think KP2 will currently be dominating for a while, but KP3 will likely rise quickly. That is my current speculation. When we look to genetic surveillance of the travel monitoring program, what concerns me is the rise in original Omicron. This is B1.1.529, which is the early start of our giant tree here for the Pango lineages. It's increased to taking up about 7 to 12% of variance in proportion detected in the travel monitoring. So it's very interesting that we're seeing a resurgence of this, as it has been several years since it was strongly around. This could be due to possible backwards evolution of current variants. It's possible that it was stored in the frozen food supply, and that supply might be being tapped into currently from what we've been learning about fomite transfer. But regardless, it's interesting that there has been so much of it noted recently. Moving on to our COVID wastewater, New York State did not update this week. The last updated data was on May 2nd, with data current as of April 30th. And then when we look to wastewater scan and the 58 reporting wastewater facilities in California, we are starting to see a clear signal of an increase, and we are seeing something similar when we look to all 194 reporting wastewater facilities to wastewater scan, where we're starting to see a definite increase in the majority of wastewater facilities in terms of the COVID wastewater level. So it's very possible that our summer wave is starting early this year.